Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ramachandra, Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha. Today I am going to talk about Panchakarma, which is a very integral part of Ayurveda, and how it is very important in clearing the toxins and the trash that is present in the body. It is called the Amavisha. So just like how when the computer gets stuck, we clear its trash by using a software, in the same way we need to use Panchakarma in clearing the trash from our body, the toxins, the heavy metals, and the Amavisha. Amavisha I shall explain in this video later on. But Amavisha is a toxin that is generated during the process of improper digestion. When improper digestion is happening in the body, a special type of poison that is made inside the body due to petrified undigested food. This is called Amavisha. It is a very dangerous toxin for the body and was recognized by the sages in the past as one of the important causes of various diseases like cancer, diabetes, etc. Today we will be talking about Panchakarma, or the five eliminatory procedures of the gastrointestinal, nasal, respiratory and overall body tract. So let's begin with a simple introduction of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the science of life. Basically all about life, all about our lifespan. Ayuhu Vedaha. Ayurveda, the science of our lifespan and what needs to be done to increase our lifespan and live in a healthy and disease-free life. The definition of health is no disease, whether mental, physical or emotional, and also spiritual well-being and health. This is the exact definition of health. Spiritual, mental, physical and emotional well-being. This is health. Ayurveda aims at the protection of our body, at the maintenance of our body, and at the rejuvenation and improvisation of our body. So everything, protection from a disease, curing a disease and maintenance of our body, protection from a disease, curing a disease, maintenance for our body and rejuvenation or improvisation of our bodily activities. So this is basically Ayurveda's main aim. Let us see the differences between conventional medical systems like allopathy and traditional and ancient Vedic medical systems like Ayurveda. Here we have Ayurveda, physical, mental and spiritual perfection of an entity, of an individual community. In fact, Ayurveda wants, the goal of Ayurveda is to aim at a large public and make them all feel happy, healthy and everything. So health is linked to our happiness. Those who have health problems will not be happy. So to be happy, we must keep our body healthy and strong always. Strong doesn't only mean physical strength, nor only mental strength, nor only emotional strength, but the combined strength of all. This is the aim of Ayurveda. So allopathy is nothing but a plant grows, the plant of disease. The plant of disease grows and allopathy just keeps chopping off the leaves, cutting off the leaves. What happens by this is that the chopping and cutting and pruning of the leaves only makes the plant grow faster. So what happens is this diseased plant, this plant is a disease present in our body.
The weed.
It keeps growing again and again in a faster speed and higher also. And after that there is no way to control it except to injure and harm the body even more. How a garden gets completely dirty with a weed that has been just pruned instead of chopped from the root. If you keep pruning a weed and chopping its leaves, it's a very time consuming activity that's going to take a lot of time. Even though just chopping off the leaf like this is an activity of a minute, but still this is going to happen a million times. That's what allopathy does. You go for a simple headache and they just cure it for you, so-called cure it for you in a minute. And then when you go back home, you're like, oh, headache is all gone. And suddenly it comes back again the next day. It's recurring and then gets into a different disease entirely. Some people get into heart disease, some people they get into more severe complications like gastrointestinal troubles due to these medicines given by allopathic doctors. It's like a cycle. It is not aiming at the root of the disease, rather it's circling around the disease and trying to prune it off, which is not going to happen. That too with absolutely toxic materials like medicines that they use. These drugs and medicines of the allopathic kind, of the allopathic group, are very bad for our human body. They are new to our human body and they are not found in nature in their original form. They are concocted, completely changed, man-made stuff that is not going to be good for our body, which has been proven by researchers. So Ayurveda is nothing but using things that are available in nature of proven efficacy that have been researched by countless ancient sages and prominently described and made into couplets and verses by these ancient sages, which are there in beautiful granthas like the Ashtanga Hridayam, the Charaka Samhita, the Sushruta Samhita, etc. Including the Atharva Veda, the fourth Veda. It has a lot of description on Ayurveda. All the four Vedas have different descriptions of herbs, etc., plants that create a very good sense of well-being and health in people. So our Vedas are the root of every single science. It is a map of every single science. The one who knows the Veda knows everything, but no one can know the Veda in full detail. All the sciences that are present in the world have sprung up from the Veda, because the Veda has the seed of every single science in the universe that is being propagated right now. Even technology, modern technology, is somewhere present in the Vedas that we cannot find. But whatever is to be there, whatever has been there, and whatever is there is all there in the Vedas. So Ayurveda is like plucking out the whole disease by the roots, and herbs are used which are found in nature. This is Ayurveda, and this the body accepts readily because the herbs are from our own Mother Nature, Mother Earth. So why wouldn't our body take it? It is directly from our planet, from our Mother Earth. So obviously our body would accept it and use it for the well-being of our own self. So some people think that we are the soul. Of course we are the soul. We are all individual realities, souls. But some people say that since you're a soul, why bother about certain trivial matters like diseases? Well, the thing is that when a disease starts acquiring and entering into our body, except for elevated people, we will soon get destroyed mentally, we will soon get dragged out physically, which will lead to mental draining, and we will not be able to concentrate on God and realize our own self finally. So this is the state of a person who is trying to realize the self and slowly gets completely destroyed because of the bodily ailments. So however one thinks that oneself is spiritual, one should try to first set the body right and keep it fit and healthy to be able to concentrate on any matter. So Ayurveda is mainly made up of two types of therapy, Shamana and Shodhana. Shamana is the therapy where you palliate. It's a palliative therapy. The palliative therapy in the sense you try to reduce the disease, you try to counter the disease in a more calming manner. You calm the doshas. Ayurveda concentrates on the doshas. They are basically humors of the body, three different humors, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. These are biological existences, but they do not exist in a clear manner, while they are present in the body in a very deep manner. The Vata, it's a morbid dosha that is present all across our body. Pitta is also the same, Kapha is also the same. The thing is that we cannot recognize these as separate because they are present in different organs of our body. And Vata is air, we know it. Pitta is various juices, hydrochloric acid, etc. Juices that stimulate digestion for us. And Kapha is the mucus and fat entities in our body. So we can identify this simply like this, but there are deeper definitions of Vata, Pitta and Kapha that are present all across the body. They are primordial humors and primordial doshas in our body. Means they can get spoiled if we don't take care of them properly. The whole body rests on these three pillars, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. If they get in any way vitiated, the body will be in distress, turmoil. That is disease. So Ayurveda, as I said, Shamana and Shodhana. Shamana, we have explained, is palliative or calming. So we calm the doshas down to reduce the disease. And you can also cure it if it's a low level disease, but it's generally not such a powerful treatment as Shodhana. Shodhana is purification. Shodhana is die-hard elimination of the disease. This can happen in various levels. Some levels are like very mridu levels, where you are purifying the body in a lower level. Some are very strong levels, where you are taking the body to very powerful purificatory process, which is going to remove all the doshas from within, remove all the trash from within completely. And some of them are die-hard removing, like Rakta Mokshana and last resort surgeries, etc., that are going to purify the body. So we know now that Ayurveda is made up of two: Shamana, palliative or calming, and Shodhana, that is purificatory or eliminating. So Panchakarma is a procedure that sometimes combines both Shamana and Shodhana, but is mainly a Shodhana type of treatment. Panchakarma is basically 5 purificatory procedures that I shall explain next. It is made up of Vamana, Virechana, Basti, Nasya, Rakta Mokshana, also according to some, and also Snehana, and there's some more that come previously and later to this. Vamana, Virechana, Basti, Rakta Mokshana, and we have Snehana, Svedana. We have some more that come later and before this also that are supposed to be used. They are called Upakramas or Bheshaja, Chikitsa. And these Chikitsa contain the Panchakarma. Panchakarma is made up of treatment. Basically, treatment is of various types. There are more than 100 types mentioned in our granthas, and these have been brought down to 5 main procedures that are chiefly eliminatory and purificatory. So in this also we have certain Shamana and Shodhana based on the person's strength. If the person is a very strong person, we can use a lot of powerful Shodhana drugs on them. As the strength reduces, which we can see and which we can find out through various things. Just as the body is very strong on outside and they look plumpy and everything is fine, that doesn't mean the person is strong. Strength is mental, physical and emotional strength, and inner strength also. Just the muscles and the bones do not form our strength. All the 7 tissues, the three doshas must be in a system of order, at least better, to be able to be given a powerful Shodhana treatment. So there are many different classes of Shodhana treatment to be given. And now I shall explain what happens to a person when Panchakarma is done. If Panchakarma is done properly, one's body, which is like a complete rubbish can, trash can, will become a new individual, a very new entity with a new body and feeling rejuvenated, extremely strong. And now that body can be given 2 different treatments, Rasayana and Vajikarana. Vilification and rejuvenation can be given to that body which has been treated well by the Panchakarma. So if Panchakarma is done well, it means that the person's diseases are completely gone. And Panchakarma incorporates various herbs that are important for each individual. So Panchakarma procedures are not same for everyone, but they are different for everyone. For example, a Vata Vyadhi person is coming with completely, Vata morbid dosha. You see them, you can make it, oh, this person is completely, gripped by Vata. What we do to that person is we use anti-Vata, Kapha treatments to change the situation and bring it back. So for example, if we use dry powders, etc. on people who have excess Vata, their disease will increase no matter how powerful the herb is. But if we use oily things on them, they will start getting better. So there are various things, and Panchakarma is not the same for everyone, just that the processes are similar for everyone. So these 5 procedures are Vamana, Virechana, Basti, Nasya and Rakta Mokshana. Nasya is the nasal medication and nasal treatment. It is very important also in certain diseases. Vamana is emesis, vomiting. Virechana, Virechana is purgation, means sending out of all the toxins from the gastrointestinal tract, that is from the anus. And Basti is also from the same tract, but it is through a pipe. The pipe sends in the herbs and brings out the feces. And due to the action of the herbs and of the purgatives present in the Basti liquid, Basti rasa. So the Nasya is nasal medication that is put into the nose as drops, and the Rakta Mokshana is bloodletting by leech or by just a cut, which is called a prachanna, and then putting some alabu or some tool to create a suction, a vacuum, and pull out all the blood, bad blood from there. It doesn't pull the good blood. The blood that is vitiated, blackish purple in color, that comes out first, and that's when we can become healthier.
Can you tell us some tools to remove the bad blood?
Nowadays, actually the various tools. One is the bitter bottle gourd. We have to chop it into half, and it will be a circular fruit. Inside it will be somewhat a wooden case type. If we make a small hole at the tip and put a small cotton bud inside, light the cotton bud and place it on the small cut that is created intentionally to stop the blood flow, and then place the pot on top. And then just what happens is that the fire, that lamp that is lit inside from within, it burns out and removes all the oxygen from the air within the alabu, so a vacuum is created, and that vacuum pulls out the blood from within, and the blood starts oozing a lot. And when it starts oozing a lot, when a particular quantity is reached per person, it's different. For a very strong person it's different, for a very weak person it's different. It's based on degrees of strength. So that much blood has to come out, and only an expert physician will know how much exactly should come out. If it's less or more, there will be complications. So this is the way of Rakta Mokshana, and that is a very good procedure in certain diseases and very bad in certain others.
Is there any other tool?
Yeah, there are many other tools. In fact, there is a modern tool which is more effective than the alabu. We have a small piece, it's just like the alabu, but it's made of a different material, like clinical material, and that is placed on top. It has it actually has the cotton thing inside it, which lights the lamp. But this is more safer than that, and it's more easier to handle. It creates a vacuum itself. So it's a better tool to use than the alabu.
Can we also use leeches?
Yes, leeches are different. This is different. This is one type of Rakta Mokshana, and leeches are another. Leeches are used for certain diseases and this for certain others. Leeches are best for people who are very scared of cuts and removal, etc. And leeches are very good in various diseases, especially skin diseases. When anybody has a lot of skin diseases, leeches are the best to use. That's a different chapter altogether. You need to take care of the leeches, apply the leeches in various ways. So I shall explain that in the video on Rakta Mokshana. I'm going to make separate videos on each of these Panchakarma procedures and their Upakarmas also. So when a person is very strong, healthy and hale after Panchakarma, they should start following some procedures that are going to keep them, maintain them as healthy. So all of these procedures of Panchakarma, which span over more than 1,000 verses in Ayurvedic literature, 1,000 poetic verses, they are all written in pure Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the mother of all languages, the most technical of all languages, and the most ancient of all languages. So now we're going to see the Panchakarma therapies, which have 5-fold purification, and they are 3 different types of so starting with from where Panchakarma comes. How is it found in Ayurveda, and which part it is of Chikitsa or therapy. There are 3 types of Chikitsa or therapies. Daiva Vyapashraya Chikitsitam, Yukti Vyapashraya Chikitsitam, Sattva Vaida Chikitsitam. So there are 3 types. One is Daiva Vyapashraya Chikitsitam, that is supernatural forces, treatment of supernatural forces. Grahas, the planets and stars, astrology, various different planets that can affect us through different portions of our body. This is a totally different science. You can watch my videos in astrology. So in astrology, there are various different planets that send their influences to and fro from our body, which create diseases and sometimes also health. So astrology is a science by which we can find out which planet is in trouble in our horoscope, and that comes under Daiva Vyapashya Chikitsatam. So astrology, medical astrology is part of this therapy. Treatment of supernatural forces, something that can't be seen. Well, allopathy is not equipped with such a treatment, and that's why they create 100 new sections of mental diseases every day. Mental diseases are unique. You can't name them and go on with a dictionary like how allopathic doctors do. It is basically individual. There's a type of supernatural divine being that is causing it, and some of them are just absolutely unknown, and doctors are completely perplexed. Our shastras have a guide to what these are and how to counteract them. This field of knowledge, it is called Bhuta Vijnana, comes under Daiva Vyapashya Chikitsidam. And Yukti Vyapashya Chikitsidam is, this is where Panchakarma comes into picture. It is logical. This is science. So what you see and what is highly visible, just like what you don't see, that is not the truth. So what you don't see, it's not the truth. That's a wrong philosophy. Sometimes what we are not able to see also might be the truth. Nowadays we can feel the Wi-Fi radiation and vibration. Just because we can't see it, it's still the truth. It can't be thrown off as not the truth. So even if you're not able to sense something in any way, still it is there because it has been explained in our scriptures and a special way has been given to find that out. So here what we are looking at is Yukti Vyapashya Chikitsidam. That means what we can see, what is logically scientific, so based on logic. So today's allopathy is somewhat based on logic, but the treatments are not based on logic. The studies of anatomy, the studies of biology, chemistry and physics are based on absolute scientific logic, but the treatment is basically completely different from what is taught in basic theory. So looking at that point, that is basically Yukti Vyapashya Chikitsatam. Chikitsa means therapy. So therapy also should be scientifically logical, and even the anatomy and the studies also should be, the theory and the therapy should both be scientifically logical. Sattva Veda Chikitsatam. This is the mental strength, the bodily inner strength, the combined strength of the body, mind and the soul. This is called sattva. This is called inner strength. So setting this strength right, optimizing the strength, this is sattva veda chikitsita. Sattva avayava. Sattva avaya means sattva avayava. Avayava means portion or part. Sattva means inner strength. So sattva avayava means the organs of inner strength, that is the mind. To control the diseases that are born from the organs of inner strength is sattva veda chikitsita. So Panchakarma Vidhana. This is the 5 different purificatory procedures. There are 3 types of Yukti Vyapashya Chikitsa. One is Antah Parimarjana Chikitsa, that is internal cleaning. This is through herbs. We can clean the toxins from within, and this is called Antah Parimarjana Chikitsa. Parimarjana means cleaning, brushing in Sanskrit. Marjana means brushing. So cleaning and brushing with herbs from within is Antah Parimarjana Chikitsa. Bahir Parimarjana Chikitsa is using herbs from outer body and cleaning the toxins from outside. It is also proven to be extremely effective. And the Shastra Pranidhana Chikitsa is surgical procedure. Shastra Pranidhana, Shastra means surgical procedure, Shastra means instrument of surgery. Pranidhana means the treatment of surgery, that is surgical procedure. Shastra Pranidhana means the system of surgical procedure. The Chikitsa that is used, the therapy of using an instrument to cut or remove the toxins from the body. This is called Shastra Pranidhana Chikitsa. This can be of various types. Suppose there is a foreign body inside, or suppose there is a cancerous body inside, we can use Shastra Pranidhana for it. But according to Ayurveda, one should use only the first 2. And unless there is a serious complication, one should not bring Shastra Pranidhana Chikitsa or surgical procedures. But in allopathy, they are like surgery. immediately, because surgery involves a risk. Surgery can be fatal. Surgery spoils the body for lifetime in some or the other way. So unless it is used as an extreme height level, something is an emergency, surgery should not be done. This is the rule of Ayurveda. So first we should use Antaparimarjana, Bahiparimarjana, which is Panchakarma, and some parts of Panchakarma include Shastra Pranidhana. So Panchakarma basically is all the three together. This is Panchakarma. And there are hundreds of millions of types of treatments in this Antaparimarjana, Bahiparimarjana and Shastra Pranidhana. There are hundreds of types of treatments in Daiva Vyapashaya Chikitsa. There are hundreds of types of treatments in Sattvavayata Chikitsa. But in this portion which we are talking about now, Yukti Vyapashaya Chikitsa, this is called Yukti Vyapashaya Chikitsa, we need to use the Panchakarma procedures, which are the 5 most important procedures. This is about Panchakarma, and surgical procedures are the last resort. So, again, now to understand how we use Panchakarma, we first need to find out what are the diseases. Diseases are basically Vyadhi. Vyadhi means a thing that is spoiling the body, or an abnormal problem that is present in the body. So here there are 2 types of Vyadhi: Santarpanotta Vyadhi, Apatarpanotta Vyadhi. These 2 types of Vyadhi are recognized in Ayurveda as causing many types of diseases. Santarpanotta Vyadhi means Santarpana Dravyaihi Ati athava Mithyopayogena, Atyupayogena athava Mithyopayogena ये व्याधयः उत्थापयन्ति ते संतर्पणोत्थव्याधयः. So the diseases that are born from excessively increasing the body with herbs that cause increment, with foodstuffs and items and activities that cause increment, these are called santarpana dravya. And there is another class of activities and items. These are called apatarpana dravyas. These reduce, these called a decrement in our body. These bring down the body. The excess use of both can cause 2 different types of diseases. If we keep using things that is going to increase our body, the disease is Santarpanottha Vyadhi. If we keep using things that are going to decrease our body, it is Apatarpanottha Vyadhi. So to counter Santarpanottha Vyadhi, we need to use Apatarpana class of treatment. This is called Apatarpana Chikitsa. To control the Apatarpana type of Vyadhi, we need to use the Santarpana type of Chikitsa. So, for example, the Santarpana type of treatment is 3 types: Brahmana, Snehana and Stambhana. Brahmana means nutrition. For example, the child is extremely emaciated and comes to the doctor. What do you do then? Give a medicine? No. Nourish the child. This is called Brahmana. This is a Santarpana. Santarpana means nourishing. Tarpana means nourishing. And Snehana. Snehana is oleating the body. Suppose a person who eats well but eats only dry food stuff that increases the dryness in the body and comes to the doctor. He has many vata complications, but he does eat a lot. This means he requires oil. He requires oiliness, greasiness in the body. Just like a cycle would stop functioning well if the ball bearing is spoiled, it needs to be oiled. A sewing machine and many more machines, they need oil once in a while. Machines and cars, they also need machine oil once in a while. So this is basically where Snehana treatment comes into picture. Our body also needs some oil, some amount of grease to increase the greasiness of the body to be able to function well. So Snehana is very important. But sometimes this is going to go to a different section. Stambhana is stopping, to halt. Stambhana, stambha means halt, stop. So suppose blood is an emergency problem, blood is just flowing like anything from the body. What do we do? Stambhana, stop. Sometimes internally also there are certain conditions where the body keeps producing water, liquids, and sometimes our sweat, our body's sweat pores, they keep producing sweat continuously. So to stop such procedures where liquefaction is happening in the body, a lot of liquefaction, we use the Stambhana procedures. Suppose from within the body, a lot of liquids are being released, also Stambhana procedure. And nasal medication through the nose, the nasal route, and this clears the head, the different membranes here, the areas where sinus is, the sinus cavities, the ear, everything is cleared through this point. And even the ear oil putting is one of the upakramas. It is not the major karmas because the ear is not connected to very major organs as much as the nose, as for detox. So for detox, nose is more important because nose is connected to various organs and can immediately clear and set right the whole of the head. So it's like a control system and the opening of the whole head that is very important. And even the mouth. So after Nasya, Rakta Mokshana, our circulatory system is very powerful, just carrying various things throughout the body to different places at every microsecond. So the blood will contain a lot of impurities and heavy metals, toxins, etc. They also can be released through Rakta Mokshana. So these are different tracks. Yes.
So what is the meaning of Panchakarma?
Panchakarma is 5 major eliminatory procedures. That is the meaning of Panchakarma. So after this we have the multiplicity of action. Because Panchakarma produces various effects. It clears the body, it cures certain diseases. Other things, they are only for certain diseases. But the Panchakarma, it clears, it detoxifies, it prepares and makes a person ready for a new treatment. Plus, it cures the disease. And one more thing is that when we use Vamana, it purifies the internal tract, plus if you add some herbs in it, it can protect that whole area also and cure the diseases from the esophagus till the gastrointestinal tract. So this is the basic Panchakarma therapy, and the Panchakarma therapy should be understood by studying the Ashtanga Hridayam, the Charaka Samhita, the Sushruta Samhita, and even if the other two are not studied, at least the Ashtanga Hridayam should be studied because it contains all the basic necessities to understand Panchakarma and how it functions. This is a wonderful therapy and will surely function for every individual in different ways. And Vimshati Guna theory of Ayurveda is the foundation of Panchakarma. Those who are interested in learning about its process of action can study the Ashtanga Hridayam and the Vimshati Guna theory present over there. So thank you. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ramchandra, Jai Shri Lakshmi Krishna. Sorry, there was an issue with the battery. So we're talking about the Santarpana class of treatment. So Brahmana, Snehana is over, and now we're talking about Stambhana, stopping the liquefaction process of the body in any way. It can be any type of liquefaction or release from the body. That is called Stambhana. We will look at that in the next few charts and in the next few minutes of this video itself. Whereas Apatarpana is Rukshana. For Brahmana, we have the opposite as Rukshana. That means drying the body. That means malnourishing the body. Not malnourishing. Malnourishing is the wrong word to use, but it is like reducing the body and reducing the fatty substances in the body. That is Rukshana, drying the body. Svedana is making the body sweat. This is the opposite of Stambhana. This makes the body, this actually makes the body keep sweating, and this is the opposite for Stambhana. Langhana is the opposite for Brahmana. Langhana is the opposite for Brahmana. It is fasting. So fasting is the opposite of automatically nourishing the body. So just eating continuously is good for a certain disease, not continuously, but a particular amount of food and a particular cooking method. This is good for a particular disease, and fasting is good for another disease. Whereas Rukshana is the opposite of Snehana. Snehana is oiling the body, whereas Rukshana is drying the body. So these are opposites, greasiness and drying. And Svedana is induced therapeutic sweating, whereas Stambhana is stopping anything that is secretion. So stopping secretion of the body. So these are the Apatarpana and Santarpana, and they are actually opposite each other in their qualities. So this is basically lightening, Laghu. This Brahmana is Guru. Svedana is, they call it Vishyandi. And also Stambhana is Stambhatva. And Rukshana is Rukshatva. And Snehana is Snehatva. These are one of the 20 qualities explained in the they call the Gurvadi Guna chapter of Ashtanga in the section of Gurvadi Gunas. The 20 gunas starting with heaviness, lightness, like opposites of different qualities. And next we have the why is Panchakarma? 5 important procedures. Because we have a body that is made up of 5 components, 5 primordial elements: earth, water, air, sky, and earth, water, fire, air, and ether. The same way, our Panchakarma procedure also attacks the doshas and the disease from 5 different sections, 5 different methods. So this is the Ayurvedic therapy at Panchakarma basic. And now let us go talking about the different types of Panchakarma. Panchakarma is basically, there are 2 schools that talk about different types of Panchakarma, Charaka and Sushruta. Charaka talks about Vamana, Virechana, Asthapana Vasti, Anuvasana Vasti, and Nasya, whereas Sushruta talks about Vamana, Virechana, Basti, Nasya, and Raktamoksha. So in Basti actually, Charaka has taken 2 types of Basti. Charaka Maharshi has taken Asthapana Basti and Anuvasana Basti, whereas Sushruta Maharshi has taken both these types of Basti as one and has added Raktamoksha to complete the list of 5. So Charaka and Sushruta Maharshi both have created their different systems, but most probably Sushruta Maharshi's can be widely accepted, better accepted, because we are summarizing 2 different types of Bastis, which is not necessary, and bringing in Rakta Mokshana, which is correct. Now we are going to see the Panchakarma system. Upakrama is basically chikitsa or therapy. In the therapy, the 5 best things to do are the Panchakarmas. Panchakarma is Vamana, Virechana, Basti, Nasya, and Rakta Mokshana. Vamana is emesis, Virechana is purgation, Basti is enema, Nasya is nasal medication, and Rakta Mokshana is bloodletting. Panchakarma is, stop making noise, yeah. Panchakarma is detoxificatory, and Upakrama has more than 60 methods, 60 different methods of detoxifying the body, whereas Panchakarma is, stop laughing, 5 methods of detoxifying the body, which are the best of all. Vamana is therapeutic vomiting. It has the effect of reducing the body through the gastrointestinal tract in the upper way, reducing the body's morbid doshas. Whereas Virechana is like reducing the body through purgation, the morbid doshas of the body, whereas Basti is from the anal root, and Nasya is from the nasal root, Rakta Mokshana is from the circulatory root. So, in our Panchakarma therapy, there is a particular order. Pachana is the digestive procedures, Snehana is the oleation procedure, Svedana is the sudation procedure. So, we use Svedana also in the beginning. Svedana is therapeutically making the body sweat. This is called Svedana. And Vamana is emesis, means vomiting, therapeutic vomiting with herbs. Virechana is purgation, with special herbs that release all the dirt from the body through the anal route. That is not forceful through machinery like Basti, but it is just normal, it is natural. And Basti is using a pipe to press in a liquid, a herbal liquid that goes in, creates irritation and brings all the dirt outside with the toxins that are collected around the colon. The colon has a lot of toxins inside it due to repeated eating of lots of toxic materials. All of this will be wiped out by the Basti. And after Basti, one should do Nasya. Nasya clears the whole body, the head area especially. The head will have certain stiffness and problems. When you take the Nasya therapy, it clears the whole head and makes it light and fine. And after Nasya, we do Rakta Mokshana if necessary. In most cases, this is not necessary unless and until there is a special disease where we need to do Rakta Mokshana. After Nasya, leaving some gap, we do Rakta Mokshana. After that, we do Samsarjana Karma. Samsarjana Karma is restorative to the body. So, after all of these procedures, the body becomes a little bit tired, klanta. To set right the body, we use certain procedures that bring the body back to the normal state, but in a cleared and better state. After the Samsarjana karma, the Tarpanadi karma happens. Actually, Tarpanadi karma and Samsarjana karma are two types. So if Tarpanadi karma is indicated in a person, they don't do Samsarjana karma. If Samsarjana karma is indicated, we have to do is contraindicated, we have to do Tarpanadi karma. So this is the way of doing it. Shamana Chikitsa is pacifying or palliative. Immediately after Shodhana, a Shamana Chikitsa should be done. And after that, Rasayana Chikitsa or Vajikarana Vidhi. Whatever is applicable, that can be done. Rasayana Chikitsa is rejuvenated, Vajikarana Vidhi is aphrodisiac. So now we shall continue in this. Apatarpana and Santarpana has been already explained. Langhana, Brahmana, Swedana, Stambhana, Rukshana is the opposite of Sneha. So these different therapies are opposite of each other and they are supposed to be followed in the special ways. Why is Panchakarma special from the other upakramas? There's so many upakramas. Deepana, Pachana, that is setting the body for good digestion. There's so many different karmas, and Anjana, application in the eye. We have so many things, clearing from the mouth with some they call kavalas. Kavala is a it's a gargling drink that we put inside the mouth, gargle well and spit it out. So all the dirt and the toxins, when we eat heavy metal stuff and brush with toothpastes, toxins from these stuff enter and cover our lining, mucous lining. That's why brushing with a toothpaste is absolutely wrong. That gets stuck here, and if you do a cover up, that is removed. But still, only little bit of it is removed. The rest of it stays inside because it's a heavy metal that is present, fluoride, etc. So one shouldn't be brushing with toothpaste. But yes, this removes a certain amount of toxins from the mucal membrane inside the mouth. So this is a very important thing. Why is Panchakarma special from the other more than 60 different upakramas? Because it has the ability of evacuation. It is able to remove the dirt from the body. Ability of evacuation. 2. It has superiority of efficacy. That means its efficiency in clearing the morbid dosha is superior to the other 60 types. And its procedure is enormous and it's a lot to the body. It is very powerful and uses all the strength to remove it. That is why it is more important than the other 60 that is included in that.
Why is it called Panchakarma? Why was it not Shatkarma or Saptakarma?
Because 5 only of these Panchakarma is the best of all. And one more reason is that our body is made up of 5 elements. So these 5 karmas, these 5 activities, purificatory activities, are the best for our 5 element body.
But there would be Amamisha in our mouth also, no Bhaiya?
Panchakarma clears from the mouth also with Vamana. But along with Panchakarma, we also use other Upakramas to make the body ready for the Panchakarma procedures. So even the Upakramas are joined. We don't only use Panchakarma. That's why in this order we have Pachana, Snehana, Svedana, Vamana, and we will Kavala also. But these 5 are main. Like how to ride a chariot, if there are some 8 horses, a very wonderful chariot, or there are 8 horses, and in these 8 horses, one of them is the best. That doesn't mean the other 8 are not necessary and they can be thrown away. All the 8 together, if they take the chariot, it will be best. But one of them in the middle, that's the best of all, and it has been acclaimed the best, and it is always necessary. So this is how the relation between the Panchakarma and the Upakrama is established. And next is that the target of dosha eradication. The Panchakarma, these 5 therapies, Vamana, Virechana, Basti, Nasya and Rakta Mokshana, they target the body from the main centers of the doshas. These other therapies like Snehana and Pachana, they just bring the dosha to the place of evacuation. But the main procedure is this. Vamana brings out from the upper movement of the gastrointestinal tract. All the dirt will go in an upward movement, whereas Virechana in the downward movement. Basti also in the downward movement, but in a mechanical method that extracts more faster and more powerful. Whereas Virechana is as good as that, but is in a purgation method and not in a pulling method. So these 2 are very important. Nasya is